Hey guys and gals, ladies and gents, welcome to the show. I'm Joe, and we are talking Matrix talk, and not the movie. We're talking about the real life movie that we're living in. This Matrix simulation that we live every day. I just like to bring up concepts, bring up some concepts of strange oddities that we experience day to day here. And I like to call it the Matrix simulation, the drama simulator, because there's always drama going on. Always tends to find us, no matter how hard we try to avoid it. And we just kick around some crazy ideas. Try to explain what we're experiencing, what we're seeing. Well, today, just kind of puttering around, and something kind of came to my attention, and I was like, man, maybe I want to bring this up. And it's anxiety. Is anxiety on the rise? Is anyone else experiencing anxiety, or, family, friends, anybody coming up with anxiety that just kind of seems to have come up suddenly? Like for myself, I've been pretty neutral. I wasn't fazed by the whole, sickness that was going around, because of course I've been thinking this is a whole simulated matrix, so I didn't really get bothered by that. But there was a sense of anxiety, that just a light sense of anxiety that would kind of come over me sometimes. And I don't know, I couldn't put a finger on it. It's like you're waiting for something to happen. You got your feet in the ocean or something, and you're just wondering, is there something lurking beneath and what's going to happen type feeling. But it goes away, it would go away. But it's kind of come to my attention is I've noticed people close to me, family, friends, and I've noticed people in passing, you overhear a conversation or something, and there's been talk of anxiety and medication. Like anxiety where you need medication. And it's kind of like, seems kind of strange, because I don't recall that happening years ago. Sure, someone would, when Prozac came out, I heard of, in the 90s, I had a friend that was like, oh, I'm feeling, down, and got on Prozac for like 30 days, and was taken off of it and never needed it ever again. It's completely fine. He just had a quick little bout of the blues, and snapped out of it. I think the medication helped him snap out of it. And that was the only person that, and I had several friends. I'm just talking because you don't know, but I had a lot of people around me back in the day. And he was the only one I knew that ever had to take medication. And I was very close to him. So it was kind of strange to hear him have to do that. But it wasn't a very significant situation. But today, what I'm seeing today is I'm coming across people who are having anxiety that is extreme. Like they can't cope with life type anxiety. And some of this is coming on with no reason. Kind of how I was explaining how, 2 years ago or whatever, maybe I was having slight bouts of like this strange anxiety coming over me, and really didn't know where it was coming from. But it was ever so slight for me. So it was easy for me to get over it and move away from it. I had no no trouble at all. But it was peculiar because I'm not an anxiety person. But what I'm hearing now with people close to me is they're getting something and they don't know where it's coming from. So they can't, it's hard for them to navigate it and get over it. They're struggling because they don't have a place to pinpoint to say, let me change this and it will go away. And they struggle digging and digging, like they really have to get into some counseling or something to really dig deep to find out like what the heck is going on. But it's been striking me as like, wow, what's going on here? Is there something weird happening in this matrix of ours? Like, what is going on? Is this something that a lot of people are experiencing out there in the world? Did 2020 like start something? What did it do? I know that everyone was on lockdown and there's people struggling with that big change in life, and there was a lot of fear for a lot of people were really concerned with their health and life. But coming out of that and through that, people were also becoming concerned with their choices in life. Like the 2020 vision really gave people time to really look at themselves in a different way. And then with that, people were changing jobs. They were going through that lull in life and saying, why am I doing what I'm doing? There was a depression there. And probably anxiety was starting up from that. Knowing you had to go back to that job, knowing that you're stuck in a relationship, maybe now you're home 24 hours and you were like, maybe that was all kicking off anxiety. You guys out there would have to tell me what you're experiencing. Is anxiety rising around you? Are you seeing friends and family struggling where typically they would never struggle? I'm just curious to see how this is playing out there in the outside world. But from my angle, I think I'm seeing something expanding and growing. And it's a concern because I have friends that now are struggling, and I'm worried about them. I have concerns that it's like, are they going to be on medication forever type thing? And will they be able to be content with life without medication? Even with medication, it's just sad to see people not being able to just live life comfortably, contently, and get through the day to day. But quite frankly, I guess if I really look at it, a lot of the people that I've come across, the people I'm talking about with anxiety, I'm noticing that they are really connected to life, or the old life, or I don't know how to really say it, but they don't believe that there's a matrix, I guess I should say. They don't believe in the fifth dimension and rising vibration. They don't know about the connection in spirituality and they just don't believe in that stuff. And I bring up things and I try to, give them my opinion of life and what really helps me get through life. But it just doesn't resonate with them. They don't connect to it. They really are rooted in a world that is, to them, real, like solid and tangible and old school. It's, you go to work, you work hard, you retire, you have your, and you live out your golden years and you pass on. and you hope that God will you've done good and God will take you to heaven, or whatever they believe. You know, so I don't know if there's a connection there with that original, we'll say, original style of belief system and anxiety, because perhaps this world is changing. We can see it. I mean, I guess we could all say the world is changing. Technology and just everything is changing. The way politics is going, the way our cars and technology for our phones, and just the whole world is changing. So maybe that's part of what's going on, causing anxiety. But maybe you're experiencing and seeing some of this. I don't know if there's the division is 5D, fifth dimension, and vibrations are rising, and the reason why they have anxiety is because they have the low vibration. I feel sorry to say that, because I don't want to put them in a category of being rude, or I'm not trying to be rude, but it's just trying to say, like, where are you, and why might that be happening to a group of people? And is their vibration just not reaching the higher frequencies that we're moving on to? Maybe that's why that's an anxietied level, and that's showing the split between the fourth and fifth, or the third and fourth, whatever vibrations we're going through, or ascension. Perhaps all the anxiety people are just have not raised to that frequency. And so now we're seeing it. We're seeing the division between like two worlds, in a way to say it. Like maybe that's the split, that's how we notice it. Because getting through the little bouts of anxiety that I've had come across recently in the past couple of years was believing, because I noticed that this world we live in wasn't what I thought it was. It's like the awakening. It's kind of like the blinders were taken off. As crazy as it seems, maybe someone's listening that is like, that's whacked. Can't believe that. This is real, tangible. But I'm off somewhere else saying it's not real. It's not what we were taught. I can see things going on in this world that to me are like obvious. And I know there's a large amount of you out there that are noticing crazy things that are like the oddities that keep coming up. And you're noticing, right? And so you're like awakening to this new world, and perhaps your vibration is rising, and that's why you can see it. It all goes like hand in hand. So it's like the higher vibration we rise, the higher dimension we go up into, we're able to see. We can see through what the illusion was set up for. And now we're seeing all the people coming up with anxieties they can't explain. Even if they can't explain it, it's such a molehill that they're making mountains out of it, and they can't cope. You know, they stub their toe and they're acting like their leg is going to get removed, and they panic. You know, that type of scenario, that type of emotion. It's just crazy how emotional people are getting out there. We're seeing all the Karens and Kens, I guess they're called. I mean, is that caused from anxiety? Are these people so full of anxiety and depression that they're snapping? and they're losing control, there's got to be a connection. That all is like some sort of connection. There's always been people snapping. You go watch those videos of people in McDonald's, freakouts compilations. This has all been going on. But ever since 2020, it's like overload. This is why I bring up the term NPC, non-player character. Something weird's out there that's kind of walking amongst us, and they're loose cannons. They just look like they're following scripts. Maybe after 2020 and whatever ascension and whatever's going on in this matrix, the NPC's losing it, or we're just noticing it, right? Again, it's like taking the blinders off. We're noticing these people are weird, and we're noticing how often it's happening. So now we're saying, wow, this is happening a lot. And maybe all this anxiety, I think it all correlates to each other. There's something weird going on here, and I think it all is connected. Just got to find a way to connect the dots here, and that's why I'm bringing up the anxiety and bring up the NPC. Is like I think there's a connection between all of it and the change in our matrix. Is there a rising ascension? Is there higher vibration? There's something cooking. And I know the religious people out there, they have so many good points of what's cooking up. And they could be right. I'm not saying there is no religious background to all of this, but it very well could be too. I can't say for sure. There's something going on with anxiety in people. Why are they feeling it? Tell me if you're noticing people with anxiety. How many people out there are noticing anxiety on an increase? Thanks, guys.